Hi everyone, how you doing? I'm Craig and we are inside the Grow Paradise greenhouse today, which is looking lovely and sunny for a winter's day. We're here because we're doing some nursery work. We're going to be potting on these cactus seedlings. Now this is Pachysarius pringelii. I've grown these from seed and these will grow into one of the largest cacti in the world. Now I've been avoiding potting them on for obvious reasons, but today's the day. Now the first step with growing cactus from seed is to sow them into a seed tray or a pot. Now I like to use these quarter-sized seed trays because I can grow loads of different species in a relatively small space. And the space I actually use is this propagator here. It's just a cheap, unheated propagator from Amazon that has a cheap heat mat tucked underneath it. Maybe about 30 or 40 pounds for the two. I'll put links in the video description. And this is where I start almost all of my seeds. Now I've actually got a cactus variety here. This is the golden barrel cactus, and you can just see the seedlings are starting to pop up. So I've sown this into a mix of perlite and compost, and that is a nice free draining mix, just as cacti would get in the wild in their desert environments, but enough to keep some moisture around the seeds to encourage germination. Now Echinocactus grusonii is the golden barrel cactus, and you can see they do not look like cacti when they first emerge. But within a month or so's time, they'll start producing spikes and they will look much more familiar. At this stage, to encourage faster growth rates, I'll move them into a propagator like my Vitopod that has lighting on top. And that's just going to encourage healthy growth, especially if you're growing them at a time of the year like I am now. We're in the middle of winter, there's not long daylight hours, there's not bright light, and I want my plants to grow healthy. I'm going to use additional light and some additional heat. Now the ideal temperature that I use is 18 to 24 degrees Celsius, and that really helps most of my seeds germinate. And in no time at all, your cactus seedlings will start to look like this. They will produce that familiar form of a cacti that so many of us know. And at this stage, we are ready to pot them on into their individual pots. So we're at my potting bench, and I'm going to start creating my soil mix. And I'm going to start with something like this. This is perlite, because this will form the free draining cactus mix that we need. And I'm just going to mix it with a multi-purpose compost that's got all of the goodness that the cacti need. Now, obviously cacti come from desert type environments, so they don't need a lot of rich compost. They just need enough nutrients to grow healthily, but they need really free draining soil. And that perlite is going to open up the soil. So when I mix them together with slightly more perlite than soil, we get that really good free draining mix. Then I'm going to use these teeny tiny pots. Now using a small pot means that the soil will drain and dry out much quicker than if I had a big larger pot, because that will just sit wet and it's likely to cause rot on cactus roots. But this small pot, like with this one I did earlier, will dry out much quicker and mimic the environment that a cactus is used to. Then I'm going to use gloves, because obviously cacti are very, very spiky and I'm not going to risk it. And then just using my stick, we're going to tease each seedling out one by one. So they shouldn't have enormous roots. They've been in this tray for probably about 6 months. They grew very, very quickly to start, and then as space became limited, they slowed down. And cacti will typically grow to the space that you give them. There you go. You can see the root that's on that. So it's ready to be potted in to one of these small pots. So I'll just fill it with some of this well-drained cactus mix and firm it down really, really well. And then I'm just going to poke a hole into it, carefully drop my cactus seedling down in, so the roots are down nice and deep, and then I'm going to firm it in. Now firming it in is going to help those roots take a hold, and it's going to keep the cactus upright, he says, struggling. Just get some more. There we go. Now it will be a bit wobbly to start until the kind of roots get a hold and fill this pot. But with all the new goodness that's in here, this cactus is going to grow to the next height. And once this pot is mostly roots, I'll then pot it onto something like a 9 centimetre pot, something like this sort of size, and then just gradually pot them up step by step until this grows into one of the largest cacti in the world. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing how Grow Paradise grows our own tropical style plants, exotic plants from seed. And if you've enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel. And if you enjoy growing this sort of plants, we've created a gardeners forum where there's people just like you from around the world sharing photos, sharing tips, and answering each other's questions. You can sign up for free at growparadise.social. And of course, if you're in the UK, feel free to check out our UK tropical and exotic plant and seed shop. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.